Now, in the document manager, we have a number of things to consider on the working paper side prior to performing the year-end close. First of all, we have our default paths, which are found under Tools, Options, and Default Paths. Note the default path for the year-end close. This is the location that any file you roll forward to will be created in by default, unless you're closing out to the existing file, in which case it will roll forward to that location. You will have the option to override the default path in the year-end close dialog if necessary. I'm going to click OK here, and note that each document has properties related to the year-end close roll forward. So focusing on the financial statement document, which is a case view document, I'm going to go into the properties here. And for case view and external documents, Word, Excel, PDF, etc., there are two checkboxes related to roll forward. The first is the roll forward checkbox that you see right here, and the second is the roll forward as placeholder. Now, roll forward as placeholder may only be selected if roll forward has already been selected. If I deselect roll forward as placeholder is disabled. Now, automatic documents only have the roll forward property available to them. And document 1.2 is an automatic document. And if we look in the middle here, roll forward as placeholder is not available in our automatic documents. Now, selecting roll forward will copy the document into next year's file. Leaving it unchecked will leave the document in the current file, but not copy it into next year's file. For the case view and other external documents with roll forward checked, let me go back there. If you select the roll forward as placeholder, the item will appear on the document manager. The line item, document number and description, will appear on the document manager in next year's file, but the document will not be copied forward. The subsequent year's file will display a placeholder icon on top of the document's icon and is then ready to accept any new documentation related to that year in place of the document that was rolled forward as a placeholder. Now, this is very handy if you're using a template and there are documents that you would like to replace from the new template. You can set the old documents to roll forward as placeholders and then bring the new documents in on top of them in the new file. I'm going to close this, click OK, and I'm going to leave that unchecked for now. Now, rather than going into the properties of each and every document to deal with roll forward and roll forward as placeholder settings, we have the ability to show those properties on the document manager. To do that, I go up to the View menu and select Reorder Columns. Now, just select the name column because I want the new columns that I'm bringing in to appear underneath the name column in the active columns listing. And on the hidden column side, I'll click on the roll forward and control click or shift click, because they are in order, on the roll forward as placeholder to select these items and use the blue arrow to move them across and down one underneath the name column. When I click OK, we will now see the roll forward column icon as well as the roll forward as placeholder options in the document manager. Now let's change a couple documents. For example, the tax returns are specific to the year that I'm working on. So the tax team has brought the tax returns into the file. Well, next year, I don't want last year's tax returns in next year's file. So I will roll these forward as line items, but I will turn them into placeholders so that I can drag and drop the new tax returns onto those line items in the 2013 year when we roll it forward.